Hello and welcome to the Wake podcast. My name is Alejandra Moreno.
And I'm Taylor Kaufman.
And we are estate planning, guardianship, and probate attorneys here in South Florida. And that's what we're going to be talking about throughout the podcast. So before we get into the details of all the legalities of what we deal with, I figured we would introduce ourselves, talk about ourselves, talk about, why the Wake, and then we'll get into it, right?
Definitely, yes.
So what made you want to become a probate attorney?
That's a great question. Do you want to go first?
Okay, I'll start. So this field of law was it found me. My dad passed away when I was 6. And, I wanted to heal people. I wanted to be a doctor. I didn't want people to deal with that. And throughout my school years, whenever there was a kid in school that had experienced some loss, they would always put them with me because I really had an understanding of what death was at such a young age.
Wow.
And, as my life went on and things changed and I was terrible at math and science, which is great for being an attorney, I very serendipitously fell upon this field of law. And I realized you don't need to practice medicine to heal people. You can heal people with words. And helping clients, comforting clients when they lost a loved one, it just felt very, very natural for me. So here we are. I mean, as I'm not young anymore, but even when I was younger, I brought a little prop. This is not even all of the funerals that I have either attended or spoken at.
Wow.
So it's I know it's a little Grim Reaper-y, but this field of law definitely was my calling, and I'm very passionate about it. So it was a good fit.
Yeah. Wow. That's actually a really nice story. And like you said, it sounds like this area of law found you.
You have a romantic story like that?
I unfortunately don't. I don't have a touching story like that, but I can tell you why I love practicing what I do now. Similar to you, I enjoy helping people. And I feel like in probate, you're really walking someone through a really tough time in their life of losing a loved one and navigating what to do after. Not only are they grieving, but they're having to face all these challenges. And it's, unknown to a lot of these people. They've never dealt with a death or probate or, what comes along with that. So I do feel like working in the probate space, I'm able to help people in that sense. And also estate planning, right? It's kind of the other side of probate, but helping families plan for their future, it's rewarding, and it's nice to see that families are kind of, getting all their ducks in a row and planning for the future together. So, I definitely love helping people. And I also love being able to practice probate, estate planning, and guardianship, right? Like the trifecta. I really think it helps me be a better attorney. Practicing probate helps me be a better estate planner and vice versa. So the combination together, it kind of allows me to identify issues before they pop up, which I think makes for a great attorney. So.
Absolutely. The before and the after.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about our name. Why the Wake? As estate planning attorneys, we're constantly talking to our clients about all the doom and gloom.
Yes.
What happens if you die? What happens if your husband dies? What happens if everybody dies? What happens if the plane falls out of the sky? We're always talking about the worst case scenario. And in probate, we're dealing with people that just lost a loved one. They're struggling to just, wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
With guardianships, we're dealing with people that are mentally ill. They have dementia, they deteriorate mentally, which is so sad. Mm-hmm. And I guess a lot of doctors feel this way too. They're always delivering bad news. How do you go home and you're happy, right?
Yeah, it's
and
heavy.
I guess you have to either become a little bit numb to it, or you have to make a little bit of light of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Without making fun of it, but make it a little lighter, right? So I think the more you talk about it, the lighter these things become, the more funerals you go to.
Yeah.
Not that it makes it easier, but it makes you more comfortable with the process, the environment.
Mm-hmm.
So naming it something that it usually has a very serious connotation, and saying the Wake podcast all the time, I think will start bringing light to it, make it a lighter conversation. And that's what's going to bring people to the table and be like, wait a second, maybe I need something like this.
Exactly.
Or,
Yeah.
That's at least my feel behind the name.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people think of estate planning and probate like death, and it's a very sad topic and things. And obviously it is, like you said, but it can also be, something you're planning for, so you don't have to think about it, before it's too late. So
Absolutely.
And I also think that, starting the Wake podcast, it's really, we've been practicing, you've been practicing longer than I have, but we've been practicing and we've seen, no, I'm not, but we've seen, a lot of people come in with already, with estate planning documents, and they're like, okay, we're already set. We have everything, ready to go. And, sometimes they do, and sometimes they think they have everything ready to go. And we review the documents and we explain to them what they're actually getting. And they're like, wait a second, I thought I had so much more protections and stuff. So I think that creating this podcast and creating a space for us to talk about like what you can do in a trust, what a trust really does and what these documents do, it allows people to start thinking about like, okay, that's what I need, that's what I want, so they have more direction when they go, and get their estate planning documents, or they go through probate. They have a, more of a sense of what to expect.
And sometimes clients come to us and they say, we just want you to review what we have. We don't even know what we have.
Right.
And, hopefully this podcast will give people enough information to be like, wait a second, I did throw my documents in a drawer somewhere. Maybe I should review them.
Yes.
And make sure that it actually says what I want it to say, or if it, maybe I need to consult with an estate planning attorney to make sure that it's correct, or if I need to update it.
Right.
So that actually happens more often than not. People have an estate plan, they're like, I don't even know what it says.
Yeah, exactly. Or they don't even know that they can update these documents. They think that it's just like a one and done thing, and it's set in stone, and it's a living document. So you can, and we'll get to that more. But
yeah, absolutely. So we're going to be talking about all these topics in episodes to come. As much as, I don't want it to be doom and gloom, we'll try to make it enjoyable, informative, and I think it's important for everybody to know that this affects everybody. Everybody's going to pass away. We're all going to go at some point.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't affect you, it's going to affect your family. There are ways to avoid. There are ways to make it easier. And I think it's important to get the message out there to younger families, to younger people. People say, I don't need to plan. I don't have anything. Everybody has something. Everybody has something. And I think it's important to focus on that, bring light to that, and make people aware.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So stick with us. I think the content's going to be great. We're really excited to be speaking with all of you. And we'll see you next time. I'm Alejandra Moreno.
And I'm Taylor Kaufman.
And from ASM Law Group, preserving what matters most for those that mattered most. Thank you. The Wake is for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. The discussions in this podcast are meant to bring awareness to important issues, but they should not be considered a substitute for professional legal guidance. If you need legal advice tailored to your specific situation, please consult a qualified attorney.